Okay everyone, now that we've carved our design onto our styrofoam, we've made our stamp, now we have to put some color on it so that we can make a print. So you're gonna find some markers at your table, you're gonna choose the colors that you want to color your stamp, and you're going to color your stamp all the way. So that means no white spaces showing on your stamp. So since we're drawing some fall leaves today, maybe you can think of getting some colors that remind you of fall time, like oranges, yellows, and reds, warm colors, to color your leaves. So I'm gonna start coloring my leaves all the way. You can blend some colors. Ooh, markers are mixing really nicely together. I can add maybe some cool colors. Maybe this leaf is kind of greenish, but it's turning yellow in the fall time. So I can add some green, yellow, and I'm gonna finish coloring all my leaves. And I'm just gonna make these orange. And then it's really important that after you color your leaves, you are going to color the background. So when we print, we wanna put color over the whole piece of styrofoam, no white spaces. So I think I'm gonna get a cool color so it stands out against the warm colors. So that would be like blues, purples, anything darker. And I'm gonna color the background. So use the side of your marker, the thick part of the marker, not the tippy top, and go ahead and just shade the whole background, carefully going around your picture so that you're covering up all those white spaces. Think of it like a vacuum. You're vacuuming up the white spaces, you're getting rid of all of them, and you're carefully going around all of your leaves. Okay, so this might take you a minute, but it's really important because it's going to make the best print possible for you if you have color all the way around your whole stamp. Okay, I finished coloring my stamp. Now I'm going to put my markers away very carefully, make sure I take care of my art supplies, snap the caps. Now I'm gonna find a white piece of paper from my basket at my table, and it's time to print this. But before I print this and stamp it down, I have to get a little bit of water and put it on my paper. So there's your water dish. You've got a little sponge in there. The sponge is pretty drippy. Now we don't want it to be soaking wet. See how it's dripping? I don't want it to be dripping. I wanna kind of squeeze it so the water is not dripping anymore. And once I notice that there's no drips coming off of it, it's still wet, it's damp. I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna wipe it on my paper to get my whole paper wet. You should notice that the paper is turning a little bit of a different color. I might need to put more water on this. But you wanna make sure your whole paper is wet, but there's no puddles, it's just damp. Okay, so this is wet, but there's no puddles. I can't see any puddles coming off of it. So now I'm gonna take my stamp carefully and I am going to place my paper on top of my stamp. Now this is the tricky part. I can put the paper on top if I line it up correctly, or if it's easier, I can take my stamp and put it on the paper. I'm gonna put my paper on the stamp because I like how that prints better. But I have to carefully line it up. And then I'm gonna press with my hands. This is like, you're not banging, you're not getting too rough with it, you're just pressing, and you wanna press over the whole stamp. So get those edges really good, get the middle really good, all over, okay? Kind of like CPR. All right, now, once I think I pressed the whole thing, I'm gonna carefully lift my paper. Whoa, look at my print, that is beautiful. There's a couple spots that I think I missed when I pressed, but that's okay. Printmaking does not come out perfectly every time. This was my first print, and it didn't come out as good as this one. So guess what? The awesome thing about printmaking is you can try it again and switch your colors up. So I'm gonna take my print, and it's a little bit wet. It'll dry in a minute. I'm gonna put it at the side of my table. I am gonna try some new colors. So what I have to get is a wet wipe from the sink. Wipe all my colors off. Get my table clean, and then I might need to dry it with a paper towel that's dry. And then I can try some new colors. I can switch up my colors. I can make maybe this leaf red. Or maybe I don't wanna make them realistic colors at all. Maybe I wanna make them kind of imaginary abstract colors, that's fine. And then I'm gonna color the whole thing, and I'm gonna print a new one with a new paper. So I'm gonna go through the whole process again. Color the whole thing, get my new paper wet, print it, press it, and then I have 2 copies. Wow, printmaking is awesome because I can get many, many copies of my art. Pretty cool. All right, when class is over, you're just gonna wipe this down. You are going to make sure your name is on the back with a pencil, and you're gonna give this to Mrs. Buettner to put in your art folder. All right, friends, happy art creating. Can't wait to see what your prints look like. These are awesome.